You aren't special. Well, kind of. I mean, if you know anything about probability, you know you have a very high likelihood of ending up losing money while trading. So how can you make sure you're different? Well, I'll tell you why you have a better shot at becoming profitable, but first I want to show you something. According to these stats from TopStep, out of 100,000 traders, only 3.5% received a payout and 0.1% are on live funded accounts. There's a reason for this, but it's probably not what you think. But we'll come back to it later. If you've ever spoken to anyone about trading, you've probably heard them say things like 95% of traders lose money, 75% of traders fail. While most of these have some truth to them, it's a very small part of a bigger picture. I want to make this very, very clear. You will not get rich quick trading. This is not a get rich quick game. Now, because you're watching this video, you'll probably get rich quicker than the majority of traders, but it won't be instant. For me, it took 2 years to see decent returns, and that was only after I ditched the nonsense astrology and learned from real professionals with skin in the game and had a proper understanding of what actually moves markets. And hopefully after this series, you'll learn quicker than I did. You've probably been told that it's about sticking to a system, having the mental fortitude of a monk, and not letting your emotions get the best of you. Now, that's partially true, but it's not in the way you think. Now, it's true that you need the mental ability to disconnect the number on the screen from any monetary value that it has outside of that, but you don't need to do that by forgetting what it's actually worth, because that's how you end up blowing accounts from poor risk management. You instead need to distance yourself from the number altogether. These 3 photos are all positions that I'm currently in. Taking the screenshots for this video is the first time that I've checked the value since I opened the positions. I do this because I trust my position. I trust what I've told my algorithm to do and how to execute exactly how I would without ever having to get involved emotionally. Now, yes, even doing this, you will absolutely have losing trades. So why do most traders lose? The answer is actually a lot more simple than you think. It comes down to 2 things: the flaws in the trading system itself and the human condition. Now, coming back to that screenshot, firstly, TopStep only allows for day trading, meaning overnight traders like me aren't able to use their products. And probably because they know that I would take all of their money if they'd let me. This limit forces people to try to predict intraday movements of the market, which wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for the fact that these movements were completely random. Now, I don't doubt that I'll have someone in the comments yelling, the stock market isn't completely random. There's always the same sweep of liquidity at the Mongolian Open that breaks structure and rebounds to the inverse fair value gap, and I do it every day. But I'm a little more inclined to believe old Burton over here than you. No offense. Burton Malkiel wrote a book named A Random Walk Down Wall Street. Now, he theorizes that the ability to accurately predict what the stock market will do is completely non-existent, but we know that quants exist, so that can't be completely true. But I do like this quote. Taken to its logical extreme, it means that a blindfolded monkey throwing darts at stock listings could select a portfolio that would do just as well as one selected by the experts. It argues that stock prices are mostly unpredictable, so trying to beat the market through timing or stock picking rarely works. Now, the book goes on to recommend long-term investing and diversification in index funds. But if we take this lesson and apply it to trading, we come to the conclusion that theoretically, following a broader trend of the market on a prop firm account could make a pretty large gain. Kind of like investing, except we have a shit ton of capital now. So why do so many traders try to predict this random walk? This is where the human condition comes in. Humans are and have always been hunters. The pattern recognition built into our brains helped us survive since we were cavemen, and now it's coming back to betray us, trying to spot non-existent patterns in the market, hunting for the dopamine hit you get when you hit the perfect bottom tick. But at the end of the day, it's the same reason that people get addicted to gambling. This is why it's so easy for grifters to convince beginners that it's so simple. All you need to do is mark this fair value gap and follow these trend lines. In reality, they're just false systems that work until they don't. And when they stop working, these same grifters will continue to preach them like it's the best thing since sliced bread because they've worked before. And because of the sunk cost fallacy, people have sunk so much time and money that they feel like they can't let go. Realistically, when there's only 2 directions that the market can go, up or down, you're bound to see the same patterns over and over. But just because they appear, it doesn't give them any actual predictability. Trading is a lot like a game. On the other side of every trade, there's a very high chance that the person selling you the contract or buying your short position is a quant from a hedge fund or a person that works at a bank who has a lot more information than you. That's just an unfortunate fact of the industry. They have access to Bloomberg terminals and systems that can fill positions faster than you can say Jimmy Simons, so making any short-term trades is next to impossible. However, if you are good at games and understanding how systems work, you will without a doubt be a very, very good trader and make a lot of money. Not quickly, but you will make a lot of money. So in conclusion, trading can be a very profitable source of income. That's if you resist the primal urge to gamble for that bottom tick 1000 pip trade. The goal shouldn't be to show off how reckless gambling allows you to afford these fancy cars, and now you're living in Dubai, hanging out with Diddy and TJR. It's to create a system that produces a stable, reliable source of income that'll one day help you reach financial freedom. Then after that, you can have whatever fancy TJR Dubai Diddy party you want. I don't fucking care. The beauty of trading is that you don't need the upper hand. You just need enough information to know what the most likely outcome of your position is and how to manage risk well enough to make sure your winning trades are frequent and big enough to cover your losers. Because you will lose.